Yo, peace, world. Just the Love King, Raheem Devon. You tuned into my boy D on the biz.
What's going on, everybody? It's David Dwayne, a.k.a. Rocks on the Mic, on My First Wings Radio, The Biz with D. And right now, we got our boy, Raheem Devon, Mr. Love King himself, and he's here with us. Y'all don't know who Raheem is? I'm going to have to, hurt y'all. Seriously, he's like the dopest of R&B, like I told y'all. Seriously? What's going on, Raheem?
Oh, chilling, man. Just chilling, currently in New Orleans right now, preparing for this Loveland tour, which is, we're halfway through the leg of the tour. It's going extremely well. It's my first time touring like this probably in 3 years. It's just, the shows have been phenomenal. The people coming out, sold out shows. It's been a blessing to be able to still be in the game, and get to receive the love that I have.
It's definitely, and congratulations, because I was just going to ask you about how the tour was going, because we missed you in Philly. We were going to go to the Philly show, but, things didn't work quite out exactly how we wanted. But how was the Philly show? Did we show you enough love?
Oh, man, the Philly show was crazy. That was actually, the second show on the tour. And they just, it was just, crazy that the love that they showed, man. A lot of people didn't have the album that night. And they actually, bought the album, and, we sell the album after the show and sign copies and all that stuff. So it was just real dope. Philly always shows love, Shout out to Philly 360, too, as well, the Philly 360 program. I was actually there a couple of weeks prior to the tour, and they just laid everything. They pretty much gave me everything besides the key to the city, man. They just showed a lot of love,
Definitely, because, you were hitting that press run hard with, once you left New York, you came right here, and I was like, that's what's up. Because we need a lot of artists coming through, because not a lot are really, doing their press runs here. They're just coming, they're doing radio, they're not doing the meet and greet and, giving back. But you're definitely one about, giving back and, showing others love and support. So we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I love all the media outlets, more importantly, I love my fans, and the media is a way to connect with the fans. So, a lot of times I think y'all get a bad rap. I'm pretty much wear it on my sleeve and just try to keep it positive, you know what I mean? So I enjoy doing the interviews, and it's part of the my world too as well, having my own my own radio show and being in media now, creating those outlets for the artists. I think, with the climate of terrestrial radio being what it is, you don't get to learn much about the artist, you know what I mean? So your platform, my platform, all these internet platforms and are a great way for us to still, connect with the fans, and also for the fans to be able to connect with us.
Definitely, that's true. And I'm also an artist as well, so I definitely can relate to, being on your side, being interviewed, and then I can relate to, I can understand both sides of it. For you, how would you say it definitely makes just the aspect of media go a lot smoother for you, just being understanding both points of view?
Being a major independent recording artist, we gotta have those outlets that that we can just use to promote our music, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? We're now in a new age where we're in a do-it-yourself age. You know what I'm saying? You gotta market and promote your music, and stay connected to the people and the internet and all these things.
Definitely. And you mentioned the fact of, staying connected with fans and marketing now. That's definitely something that I'm big on and you're big on, so we definitely can relate to that. And I see that you're just mentioning, just connecting with the fans and giving back, but you're really on that Twitter hard. I look down at your timeline, I'm like, yo, he's really responding, he really is talking to them. How important would you say it is just for, any entertainer, because there's some that don't?
Yeah, it's great. I've managed to cut the middleman out, you know what I'm saying, be my own boss, have my own label now, my new album, A Place Called Loveland, is my first major release as an independent artist. So, it's vital for me, but I've always had that connection with my fans from day one, even back, 2005, 2002, even as an independent artist before signing the job, I always, met with the fans after the show, had a cell phone. People could blow up the phone like Mike Jones, and
Right.
all these different platforms. You know what I mean, to create that artist fan cult, relationship. So it's cool, man. Nobody tends to really cross the line, and my fans love me. Some of my fans I know on a first name basis, real talk. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So they go from city to city and get the experience, and we get them tickets and all kind of little cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like the core fan base. Those are the people that we feed each other. You know what I'm saying? I feed them with great music, and they help me put my kids through school. Real talk.
Most definitely. Now I've got to ask you, because you've been surrounded by music your whole life. I mean, your father was a musician, correct?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Now, how would you say, just watching your father, just do music, how would you say that really influenced maybe your sound or just the person that you've become in the industry, would you say?
It's cool. My dad was, he's a retired jazz celloist, so it's a kind of different platform. But now it's, appreciation. I can be able to talk to him about certain things, or even when I was making my independent business moves, or, publishing and stuff like that, owning your masters. Like, it's a conversation I can have with him as a parent, and he can relate to that, you know what I'm saying? He can give me advice or say, man, like, I'm proud of you for doing that,
Exactly. Now, you mentioned the fact of, owning the masters and the publishers and stuff like that, and, major label, independent label kind of thing. And you have your own label, as you mentioned, and you were signed to Jive at, that period of time that you were. How would you say that your run, let me ask that. How would you say your run was with Jive, and how would you say that for you, being an independent artist has bettered your success?
I say my run was a great run. It was a great run, but at the same time it was subpar. I don't think they ever really got, or the key people that I needed to in the building really got right good what they had on their hands. But it's a great family over there, and I had the opportunity to really see the RCA, which used to be the Jive family. A lot of those cats are still over there, and with their artist Molly Music that's opening up for me, on the tour and stuff. So it was great to see them. I got a slew of hits and a great catalog from working with them. Wayne Williams, A&R in particular, Jeff Finster, Jimmy Maynans, who's my early A&R. So it's great, man. It's great to see those guys again. I wouldn't take it back for the world. I mean, now being independent, they gave me a platform where, I have a huge fan base now as a result of that, I'm thankful.
Definitely. And with the with being with I guess I could say RCA, right? I might as well, or Josh, whichever. But being with the the RCA family, when they were formerly known as Josh, your first album was number 9 on U.S. R&B charts, Billboard, and then number 1 with Love Behind the Melody. I mean, just for your debut albums to really be at those kind of numbers, what is that feeling like for you?
I feel good, man. It feels good. I really don't get caught up in the whole chart thing. You know what I mean? Per se, I just like to be that artist who just sells records every week once the album comes out. You know what I mean? If I could sell anywhere from 1,000 or 500 CDs to 10,000 CDs a week, then that's a blessing. And even in this economy and what have you, music, R&B, soul music is the heartbeat, the lifeline of our people. So people will still need that music. They still need something that's the vibe to, even when times is bad or whatever. You know what I mean? So, so being like Coin, like the Marvin Gaye of my generation, people still go out and grab that music, man. And so we, for example, we we just crossed the 30,000 mark. This past week, and I don't know what the numbers are this week just yet, but selling records every week, man. I'm going to continue to do that.
Definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you got to, because, your fans are, depending on you. I mean, you got, a great fan base, and, numbers are incredible, so you got to. So now, Aisha, who is a friend of mine, okay, she wanted to know about your song, Woman. That's her favorite song by you. She's, the biggest fan, so she first wanted you to shout her out, but she wanted to ask you this question, though. She said, when you recorded the track Woman, what really inspired you with that record, and what kind of mood did you have to put yourself in to really set the mood, pretty much, with that track, she said?
Well, peace to Aisha, first of all. Thank you for your support. That record was really a challenge. You know what I'm saying? That record, I had a meeting with Jeff Finster at the time, my A&R, and I came to him and was like, yo, the album's done. I'm ready for y'all to put it out. He was like, the album ain't done. He was like, man, you know, so he really pulled my card and was like, man, you got to dig deep. Like, you don't have this, you don't have that, whatever. So that was really me going in the studio and just like challenging myself to say, hey, man, what's missing from this album that, you know, made my first album a classic? And I feel like I didn't have an answer for the women at the time. And that you know, I set out to actually make that night, you know what I'm saying? And since I always try to make sure I got like that answer for women, you know what I'm saying? Something, you know, not to be cliche or say the same thing twice, but, you know, find a way to say it, you know. So on the third album it was Greatness, and, you know what I mean, on this album is, you know, Make 'Em Like You, and Made by the Maker of Love, and, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I think women, like, you know, they appreciate that. So I just try to keep that vibe going.
Definitely. Now, I gotta ask you about the one of your first singles, Believe. Dude, like, that was my jam when that first came out. Tell me, what was like your mind state with that record? Because that, I mean, it was definitely a dope track and still is to today.
Man, that was years ago, you know. So it's just, you know, I just move, man. I just do what the music and the melody tells me, you know what I mean, what I hear. You know, I can't really explain the moment other than, you know, it's one of those moments where it just comes out of thin air, and that's what came of it, you know?
Definitely. And Aisha said, peace, love. She's texting me right now.
Cool. Cool.
She's texting me and she's listening. So let me ask you about the fact of doing radio, because I definitely want to dive in with that, because at first I know that it was just like a hobby for you. Now, what made you want to do it?
Just like I said, you know, it's always been a challenge for me to get my songs played on the radio for whatever reason. So, I just created the platforms. Like, I'm always the type of person to be like, well, you know, if I go to a restaurant, if I don't like the service, if I'm able to the next day, I'll go by the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like this, you know, I don't necessarily agree with, you know, how we treat it in the radio format sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And the genres and the stipulations or the boxes that, you know, labels or radio stations try to put us into, you know what I mean, at a demographic of what they think you are versus what you know you are. You know what I mean? I get 3 different generations at my shows. So, you know, I get, which means I have, you know, youngsters that are at my shows now that are, you know, 20, 21, that might have been like 9 when my first CD came out. You know what I'm saying? So they have to show with their mom and their grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, in the front row. You know what I mean? In the picture line. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of unique. You know what I mean? My fan base is unique, and I know what my fan base is. So, you know, so that was really just with the radio. You know, it wasn't just about me, but I'm like, man, I wonder how many other artists feel like this. You know what I'm saying? Feel like, man, they feel like they just put in a box. And, you know, and you know, so it's really just to break the rules, man. I'm just about breaking the rules.
Definitely. And who would you say has to be like your favorite artist that you've interviewed? Because, I mean, you've had a lot, and some similar to who I've even interviewed on here, but who were some of, like, the artists that you just absolutely had a ball with?
I loved Keisha Cole. When I think about the interviews, for some reason, like, Keisha Cole interview stands out. I think just first and foremost, just like in person, she's just like a beautiful woman. Like, she's beautiful. Like, she had like a rack of makeup on. It's like, it's beautiful, just a beautiful soul. You know what I'm saying? I admire the fact that I kind of knew a little history on her already. So the fact that, like, you know, she used to run with Tupac, and, you know what I'm saying, and that, you know, and she, which I think we talked about Pac in that interview, and she was kind of like one of the first to do the reality show thing, where I feel like it wasn't buffoonery per se, but more so her life. You know what I'm saying? She's, you know, which I think was just like brave. You know, she just kind of reminds me of like Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of, like, you know, for our generation. So it was cool. Like Keisha Cole, T.I., you know what I'm saying, who I'm a huge fan of. You know, who he reminds me of. You know, not to be cliche, keep talking about Pop, but he reminds me kind of like of our generation pop. In the sense of the stuff that he's been through, and you know what I mean. So it's like with that, their lives are kind of parallel in a lot of sense, if that makes sense. Janelle Monáe. It's a lot, man. We've been blessed, man. I mean, I think back on all these interviews and a lot of people that we've had on the show. Eric Benet, that was crazy. Boney James. With the fact that we did the record together, and Boney was like, I grew up on his music. You know what I'm saying? He actually sought me out on Twitter. That's how that song came about. So if I had to do like a top 10. Those would be those interviews would be like definitely in my top 10.
Definitely. And I have to say, I love those interviews as well. But I think my absolute favorite has to be your interview with Brandy.
How could I forget that one? That was crazy too. That was
show there.
I wanted up going by the show and all of that. It was crazy. We actually made a whole little a whole little I guess little episode, webisode. That whole experience. She was dope, man. A lot of these artists, they come through, man. A lot of times, we do radio, we're pressured to either do it quickly or we want to do it quickly because we really, so people, we had a reputation for not wanting to be there and that type of thing. But I've been blessed, man. They come through, they hang out 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In my space. You know what I mean? So that was another dope one. Definitely another dope that put in the top 10 as well.
Definitely. And a lot of people, when they come on your show, they show love. It doesn't matter who it is, and it surprises other people because it's like you're on an internet radio show, something that's not even on a major platform, but you get so much love on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple. It's some haters out there too. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this, man. I really, I want everybody to come on the show. I really want this. I want everyone to be able to use this platform. Use this platform because it's not just about me. You know what I'm saying? We are here in the trenches together. And I think sometimes we get caught up in being competitive, that we go about things the wrong way, and you know what I mean, and that type of thing. But definitely, man, the Raheem DeVaughn, platform, the show is here for everybody to utilize it, whatever genre of music, it doesn't matter. Music is colorblind, and I listen to everything. So, I'll play Boney James and then turn around and play T.I. on my show and turn around and play I'll turn around and play an artist that's totally obscure and, no one may know of, you know what I mean? So, and people in South Africa are appreciating, and people, I have people tuning in from Istanbul, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Being with that, we on the up and up with the technology, we know exactly where people are, tuning in from, down to the one person in Russia or down to the one person in Australia or the 10,000 people in Kentucky or what have you, you know what I mean? So it's great to be able to know that we're touching the people and know exactly who we're touching.
Most definitely. So now let's talk about giving back again before we, talk about your album because, you have a foundation. Let's call it the Love Life Foundation. And, the focus is, for people that aren't familiar with Raheem's foundation, is HIV, AIDS, domestic violence, mental illness, autism, cancer education, and, of course, music and the arts. What made you really want to just put together something great like this, a great organization such as it is?
I'm just at a place in my life where I want to give back. That's really it in a nutshell. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of woes and a lot of things out there that need to change in the world. And can't change everything at one time. So, that's what the Love Life Foundation is about, taking it one day at a time. And although I've, incorporated the foundation, I'm really about to put some things in motion before the new year and after the new year to really take it to the next level. Okay.
What kind of things do you have, in store for the foundation?
Focuses will be urban wellness, you know what I'm saying, and health and development, you know what I'm saying, in terms of working with the youth, you know, and getting their, letting them exercise their voice and whatever. I think it's a disconnect between the youth and, you know, the generations. You know what I mean? It's been like that for some time. So we need to work closely more together because they're the future. They got a voice. And a lot of times they rebel and act out, you know what I'm saying, as a cry for attention to, you know, wanting to connect with us or wanting us to understand and wanting us to help. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan, you definitely got to keep us posted with, like, any events that you're doing with the foundation, because we definitely want to, you know, show love and, you know, support, because we're about giving back as well. So you got to definitely keep us up to date with that.
Okay.
So now the new album, which everybody can get on iTunes, Amazon, Best Buy, Target, get the 2 bonus tracks. It's called A Place Called Loveland. Let's talk about the concept of, you know, that album and how'd you come up with it?
Well, you know, I always embody love, you know what I mean, in each project. A Place Called Loveland is a relationship think tank album. Like, you know, it's an album made for engaging, and, you know, and you're gonna want to kick it and have good conversation with somebody that you enjoy, and you know, I intentionally set out to make a very R&B album. You know, for people saying that R&B is dead, like this is a throwback '90s futuristic R&B album. I purposely, that was my intent making this, and people tend to love it. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it, man. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not an album that you can go and download a few songs off of iTunes. Like, if you're the type of person that does that, like, this ain't the album for you. Like, you got to listen to this body of work from beginning to end. I want you to enjoy it.
Definitely. And, I mean, you worked with a lot of talented people in this album. Who would you say is maybe, I'll say three of your favorites that you worked with on this album?
Definitely Neo, of course, Carvin and Ivan, and you know, and definitely I had to probably say Mario Winans. You know what I mean? I was been a fan of his production and his work as well.
Definitely. Now, what's a studio session with, like, Neo and Mario Winans? Because, I mean, they...
Well, like, believe it or not, I wasn't in any sessions with these guys. Like, a lot of times I'm in the studio by myself when I do these records. So, you know, or you know, the songwriter, if you know, if I'm working with a specific songwriter, other than myself, then, you know, but pretty much I'm in the studio by myself, man, when I do, you know, the process of recording, vocal arranging these songs and writing these songs and arranging them and that type of thing.
Definitely. That's what's up. And now, the lead single is Love Connection, which everybody is still buzzing about. I mean, hats off and salutes to you, brother. Like, what state of mind were you in with that? Because that's real smooth, taking it back to that classic Marvin Gaye R&B stuff that people really
I was going for some Marvin 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Marvin 2020. You know, futuristic Marvin vibe. You know what I mean? And I think we accomplished that.
Right. Definitely did. So now, what's the second single? Is what Aisha wants to know. She just texted me again. She's like, "What is the?"
Yeah, the second single will be the second single is Ridiculous, which is out right now.
Okay.
There's a video out for that. You know, Vimeo, YouTube, on all your networks as well. They're playing it, and we're about to work that heavy at radio as well. You know, it's part of the tour. We're stopping, you know, at every radio station, and they're starting to spin the record. So definitely call and request Ridiculous on your local radio stations, and look out for that to be all over the airwaves real soon.
Definitely. Now, the fans' favorite was Pink Crush Velvet. Now, did you get any angry tweets from your fans when you decided to go with Ridiculous as the single?
No. I think just Ridiculous is where it needs to be right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I think the love before the sex is always a better move. And and definitely I got a video coming for Pink Crush Velvet as well, and that'll be a single at some point too.
Okay. Nice. So now, do you have a concept in mind what you're going to do with that video yet, or not quite?
Yeah, but of course I'm not going to tell y'all that.
Oh.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait for the YouTube release of that one.
Okay. So probably something, but I guessing just by the title of the song, probably something very sensual.
Oh, right. Definitely. I'm taking it there.
That's all we need. Confirmed. Stamped. All right, so we definitely have a couple more questions for some fans, and then we're going to wrap this interview up because I know you're getting ready for the show.
Yeah, we got Snapchat coming out, yeah.
So Tony wants to know what goes through your head when, like, the fans, like, when the ladies are throwing their panties. He says, like, I would be like, this shit is cray, but he wants to know, like, what goes through your mind at that time.
This just let me know it's like I'm turned up. Like, that's just like the biggest form of gratitude, I guess, on stage. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I feel like Teddy Pendergrass and shit. Like, real talk.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, like, he also wanted to know, like, how do you just keep that high energy that you have when it comes to stage presence?
It's the ultimate high for me, so I enjoy doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I live for. You know what I mean? Among other things, but that's just, you know, for me, that's the ultimate high.
Definitely. That's all the fan questions. Now, I got to ask you, so with this album, how many more singles can we definitely expect from this?
Man, I'm going to do as many as I can, but do know, like, you know, I'm like 80% into the next album.
Okay.
You know, Place Called Loveland Part 2, which will have a new title, but I'm not going to put that out yet. We're going to do big press release and all that stuff for it. But just know that, you know, man, I'm working, you know, I'm working in between the tour, you know, I'm working on a tour bus, I'm working like, and just getting it, we're going to get it done. It's going to be crazy. It's just the beginning, man. It's just the beginning.
Absolutely. It definitely is. I mean, you're at album number 4. We need 24.
Oh, no, I'm on it,
you
man.
You need 24.
I'm on it. God willing, I'm on it.
And now, is part 2 going to be, like, similar to what we have?
I think
right
part
now?
2 is going to be more, this album is more, Place Called Loveland more covers the love spectrum, you know what I'm saying? The next album is going to be more, it's going to be more, you know, on the sex and more seduction and very, but tastefully done, but definitely, the next album will probably be exuding sex.
Okay. That's definitely dope. And any plans of, with this tour, expanding it to more cities?
Oh, definitely, man. We just, you know, taking it day by day, promoter by promoter, and definitely looking to do new dates. And, you know, any inquiries or what have you, you know, all the management information is, you know, on my website at RaheemDevon.com.
Oh, definitely. Well, Raheem, thank you so much, man, for this interview. We definitely do appreciate it.